There is no way yet another woke politician is outed as a scam artist.
We begin with what federal authorities are calling the largest theft of COVID relief money in the country. Tonight, 47 people are charged with stealing $250 million from a federally funded child nutrition program meant to feed hungry children during the pandemic.
Instead, prosecutors say the group bought jewelry, luxury cars, and even property with all that money.
Feeding Our Future, a Minnesota-based nonprofit, claimed to be feeding children in need during the pandemic, but in reality, they were running the largest pandemic-era fraud scheme in the entire country.
The FBI conducted several search warrants, which released details to the public. That's when U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar said they finally began to put a stop to the alleged fraud. Today, we learned more details, including alleged bribes and kickbacks each time a new co-conspirator joined the scheme.
Amy Bach, once lauded for helping Minnesota's Somali population, this morning turned herself into federal authorities on charges of conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, and taking bribes.
The scheme that began with a simple idea in March of 2020 grew to become the largest pandemic fraud in the United States.
U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar laid out in detail what is now known as the Feeding Our Future fraud.
Feeding Our Future is at the core of this fraud.
Bach and her organization Feeding Our Future are accused of taking advantage of an influx of federal money at the beginning of the pandemic aimed at providing free meals to children in need. According to the indictment, they helped others set up fake companies to claim to feed meals to children that didn't exist. Some actual restaurants, like Safari in Minneapolis, are accused of doing the same, accepting the federal money and giving kickbacks to Feeding Our Future.
More than 125 million fake meals.
No, I get it. You're saying, hey, Chromo, yeah, it sounds bad. But you said something about Ilhan Omar.
Horta aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta Safari aan soo gaarnay sida dadka badan ay u og yihiin ciyaalkeena yaryar ilaa iyo number la eg 20 milyan oo ciyaal iskooley ah waxay cuntadooda ka helaan iskoolka kaliyo.
Oh, okay, so she ran a promotional video, did a little bit of marketing, so what? Well, it's really interesting because you know how these fake organizations and restaurants got this money to pretend like they were feeding kids?
We are on the brink of a hunger crisis both here in the United States and around the globe. Right now, more than 38 million people, including 12 million children, are food insecure in the United States. Food prices are expected to rise up to 7.5% this year, stretching already tight family budgets. In my home state of Minnesota, dozens of hunger relief organizations are warning of the hungriest summer on record if the state doesn't convene a special session to combat hunger. At the beginning of the pandemic, I passed the Meals Act.
Here she is, Congress.gov. Sponsor, Rep. Ilhan Omar. Introduced 3/11/2020.
To let districts provide universal meals in the hope of preventing a massive hunger crisis. It worked. Over 30 million kids are now estimated to receive school meals.
30 million meals, Miss Omar? Really?
3 more suspects in the Feeding Our Future fraud case made their first court appearances this afternoon. In the meantime, we've been tracking what happened to some of the money they received, including political donations.
But I'm sure there's no way we're going to find Ilhan Omar on that list.
There's no evidence that the politicians knew the money was coming from people involved with alleged fraud. But we wanted to check how much money they received and whether they've returned it.
Between March 2020 and now, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar received 3 campaign donations totaling $7,400 from 3 suspects now charged in the $250 million Feeding Our Future federal meal fraud. Most of the money came from owners of Safari Restaurant.
I freaking knew it. How much you want to bet? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Because, you know, they've got gifts they give. She was the one that introduced the bill that let them claim all that money. Are you kidding me? Not to mention the Somali ad for the Safari Restaurant?
Omar's campaign says she has donated all that money to food charities.
Oh, yeah. No one should look into those charities. I'm sure everything's on the up and up. I'm honestly really surprised Omar hasn't taken this off her omar.house.gov website. Rep. Omar is a former nutrition educator, an anti-hunger activist, and a current member of the Education and Workforce Committee. In 2020, she successfully authored and passed the Meals Act, which helped feed nearly 30 million kids during the pandemic. I mean, she's on X promoting it. This entire thing puts this interview with Ilhan Omar in a completely new light to me.
Just on USAID, which he's effectively shut down, you've talked about your own experience receiving support from the US government, from USAID, when you were a child living in a refugee camp. How did receiving that type of aid impact your view of the United States? How important is that aid when it comes to America's role in the world?
It's really important because when you're struggling and you're looking for a hand up, you take account of who is providing that hand up for you. It provides goodwill. It shows that we are a compassionate people as Americans.
Jesus, another woke politician turns out to be a complete scam artist. In my opinion, is it just me, or is it time and time again we find that the politicians that talk the most about empathy and community and standing for the downtrodden are just grifting? How about we maintain and set up a functional economy for ourselves, and I'm sure that the rest will rise with everything else. We at least have to walk before we can crawl, because this slow motion train wreck thing is not the move.